Hello, testing test. Hi, Kate here with another video. Hope everyone is doing well. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. Okay, this video is going to be a bit of an experiment. I'm doing a short form video, and I hope to be under 10 minutes. So briefly, I'm going to talk about Joe Biden's dementia. It's created a huge crisis in the Democratic Party and in U.S. politics. Okay, with Joe Biden, he's always been prone to gaffes his entire political career. Says his bizarre stuff, weird off the wall stuff, blurts out this weird stuff. He's always done this. And the Democratic Party line about it is that he has a stuttering problem. And he does this to compensate for a stuttering problem, which might be true. I am skeptical because I've never seen a video of him actually stuttering. I've never seen anything like that. My hunch, it's a neurological disorder, maybe as a form of autism, and I'm not being ableist. I'm not nothing wrong with that at all. But in his case, my hunch is he doesn't have a filtering mechanism, so he just blurts out it's literally his gaffes are often like a Freudian slip. Blurts out this bizarre stuff. It's the key to what he's really thinking underneath all that. That's my hunch. Maybe it's something like a form of Tourette's syndrome or something. I really don't know. I'm far from an expert. But this happened all along. But what's happening now with his dementia is something entirely different. Okay, so Joe Biden was never a popular figure. He ran for president 3 times. He ran in, 2008, and Obama picked him as his vice president. He needed a Dixiecrat, a Southern racist, basically, which is what Biden is, because he's black. He had to balance it out. He ran in 2020 election. He started and ran the primaries with the No Malarkey Express, and people made fun of him. Like, who is this guy? People thought he's going to drop out after a few months. No, but surprisingly, Obama intervened and stage managed it so that Biden would be elected. Used Biden to push Sanders out of the contest. Basically, there were the COVID lockdowns. Obama made a few phone calls, got the other candidates to drop out, throw their votes to Biden. Elizabeth Warren stayed in long enough to take votes away from Bernie, and then finally Biden got it. Nobody really liked him. The slogan was settle for Biden. Like 2016, 2020 were both angry, insurgent moods, and then it'll devolve down to Biden, who was regarded as a mediocre figure. And in the campaign, in the primaries, and later the general election, he came off as demented, unhinged. He was campaigning one incident. He called a young woman who asked a very respectful but critical question. She was in New Hampshire, I believe. She was clearly nervous. But she was very respectful. She asked Biden called him a lying dog-faced pony soldier. Like, what does that even mean? Apparently, Biden later claimed it was a line from a John Wayne movie. Film scholars can't really locate it anywhere, just off the wall. Later on, at one point, Biden challenged a farmer to a push-up contest, or a rancher challenged his IQ. I'll have an IQ test with you. Another time, a guy challenged Biden his environmental record, and Biden said, why are you so nervous? He just acted unhinged. Biden would get wildly defensive at slightly challenging questions. This is a guy who's running for president of the United States. I mean, weird. And believe after he won the primaries, the general election, there was an odd interview very early on where he clearly didn't know what he was talking. He lost his train of thought constantly. The woman interviewing him knew this and was very respectful. You could tell Biden kept using, I don't want to go there. I shouldn't say this. I shouldn't say this. He was using this as a mnemonic device when he lost his train of thought. You could tell his handlers trained him to do this. Somebody asked him, the interviewer asked him about Trump's bad policies. Oh, Trump's horrible, but I shouldn't go there right now. Means that Biden forgot what he was talking about. Okay, so after he became president, people voted for Biden because they were terrified of Trump. So after this continued and escalated, there's so many incidents of Biden turning to shake hands with somebody who wasn't there, mumbling, increasingly incoherent mumbling. One speech he had, America can be summed up in one word, and that word is constantly incoherent mumbling. Bizarre his syntax was completely garbled. He at the recent NATO summit, he got world leaders confused. He introduced Zelensky as President Putin of Russia. He got the president of Mexico and France confused. One time, a couple years ago, he was in Malaysia for the APEC summit, Asia Pacific summit, And he thought he was in Colombia. He thought he was in South America. He was confused in what country he was in. And apparently he does this more and more all the time. Annapolis for Navy ceremony, he tripped and fell twice. He didn't know where he was. But October, he gave a speech about the Hamas attack. On October 7th, he started talking about his father. His father ran from his kibbutz where he'd been living. And on October 7th, which was 40 years ago, apparently what happened is Biden was reading off a teleprompter and he got the lines garbled. And like everybody was standing there, like everybody knows this. He has dementia, severe dementia. I'm not being ageist or ableist. He has dementia. Now, thing is, the U.S. corporate media is highly partisan. They don't pretend to be objective anymore. They line on most of his line around the Democratic Party, but you get the Republican Party as well. So CNN, MSNBC, NPR are liberal. They only run the Democratic Party. They were going out of the way to defend. They were running cover, running interference for Biden. They would barely mention it. Once in a while, they'd bring up something, questions about his acuity. Once in a while, but right-wing media, Fox, OAN, Sky News, and a zillion smaller outlets, they'd shout it from the rooftops. Twitter or their feeds, they would shout it from the rooftops, but everybody knew Biden had dementia, but you weren't supposed to talk about it. It was like a right-wing talking point. Biden has severe dementia. Recently, he met the Pope, and I guess they're supposed to kiss the Pope's ring. He kissed the Pope's forehead, and not only that, was slobbering all over him. And apparently it appears, it appears likely, people watch this video, he pooped in his pants. He defecated in his pants. There are numerous other times where people seriously think he has an incontinence problem. And this is not joking. And so right-wing media would shout it from the rooftops. Liberal media would barely mention it or cover for him, but like everybody knew. Okay, so they couldn't hide it anymore. 2.5 weeks ago, June 27th, Biden had a debate, quote, debate with Trump. This had been promised weeks in advance. Months in advance, he was going to have this agreed to this debate. And it was predictably a disaster. I was puzzled by the fact that he even agreed to a debate. I didn't think they were going to have it. I didn't think they were going to have this debate, but it was beyond the shadow of a doubt. Biden has severe dementia. He mumbled, a lot of it was incoherent mumbling. He was constantly confused. It was a line, apparently his handlers had rehearsed him, that a line he was supposed to say that we beat Big Pharma and saved Medicare. Instead, he said, we beat Medicare, and Trump was just, well, yeah, you beat Medicare, all right. Biden was constantly confused, and there's no question whatsoever he has severe dementia. And this threw the Democratic Party and U.S. politics into a huge crisis. Almost the day after, New York Times or the Washington Post, all these things, put it on their front page that, Biden, there are serious issues with Biden. And this blew the cover. Now, but the couple levels to this. First, it exposed one of the ideological props of the system. Well, the idea that the president is not running the country. The president is not in charge. As Louis Althusser, the French philosopher, talked about ideological state constructs. The president is an important part of this. It's important who you vote. The president, and they're like personality cults around both Trump and Biden. They encourage these weird personality cults. People defend these guys. And the president Biden's not running. No president really runs the country. Obama, I remember there was when Obama got in, I think it was Lehman Brothers, major equity firm, told Obama who he has to pick for his cabinet. Group of list of names, pick from the same, and Obama did. He did. So the president's not really in charge. Obama was much more active and has some imprint on policy. It appears pretty likely that Biden is pretty much an empty suit at this point. And this exposed a huge, plus Democratic Party base feels it cheated and lied to it. You didn't tell us, tell us it's exposed. Yeah, the right wing was correct. Biden has severe dementia. So it threw the Democratic Party into crisis and U.S. politics. The U.S. is a laughing stock internationally among the other NATO countries. At the G6 summit a few weeks ago, Biden was in Europe and one disaster, one blunder after another. A parachutist came in. The European leaders were there, and a beach somewhere, parachutists came in, and Biden went the wrong direction. Prime Minister Meloni of Italy had to bring him back. Another time he was with Macron and his wife, President of France, and they played the national anthems, and Biden just faced the wrong direction. So to cover for him, everyone else faced the wrong direction as well. There one weird, wacky scene after another with this guy. Okay, so they can't hide it any longer. So now the Democratic Party, the last few weeks, about several dozen pundits or Democratic Party pundits or leaders or whatever, were calling for Biden's replacement. And the odd thing is, the whole thing is whether Biden can beat Trump. It's not whether the guy who's supposed to be running the country is a barely functional dementia patient who supposedly has his finger on the nuclear button. The question should be: is this guy capable of being? Realistically, they don't let Biden anywhere near the nuclear codes, of course. But is the guy who's supposed to be have all this power a guy has severe? That should be the question, not whether he can defeat Trump. And he's polling at 37% or something, and 81-year-old polling 30 is he's going to beat Trump. No, no. And I think at this point, no matter who the Democrats put up, is going to lose. But they're running in. Now there's a theory going on that this thing was set up. They knew that Biden was set to fail. They knew he was going to bomb out the debate. The group around him did prepare him, did prep him, but they knew it was going to happen. By the way, it's believed he has sundowning. Like Biden, like between 10 to 6, he's kind of okay, but after 6 o'clock, he'll fall apart. It's common in very elderly people, sundowning syndrome. It's believed, several doctors I've listened to, I'm far from an expert, he has a form of Parkinson's, a Louis Parkinson's related to Louis dementia. Several different doctors, I've seen the videos, they explain this. These classic symptoms of it. It's probably correct. So this exposed the system. Now, the Democratic Party leader, the billionaire donors, looks like they won him out. Yeah, a year ago, and Kim Iverson said this would happen. Yeah, Kim Iverson and other people, Jim Kavanaugh, who I interviewed a year ago, said this. Biden is not going to be the nominee. Biden, there's no way he's going to be the nominee. And maybe they're going to wait till the convention to get rid of him. It's a process to eliminate him. And it's more painful than they thought it was going to be. It's not going to be a pushover. It's going to be, first, the Democratic Party base feels kind of betrayed. And the fact that it's undemocratic. They had primaries. 2020, there were primaries, but no, 2024, there were primaries, but they were perfunctory and debates weren't allowed. Essentially, they're officially the primaries, but they really weren't. The leadership pushed Biden through and shouted down any competitors. They pushed RFK out of the Democratic Party. And I don't like RFK, but he could have been a credible alternative. But they circled the wagons and now they get the result. Now they get the results. So now it's a more painful process to get rid of Biden, replace him with somebody, Gavin Newsom, maybe. We don't really know. I think no matter who they put up is going to lose to Trump. But they have the Democratic Party, and they know this, but they have to keep up appearances. So this is a catastrophe. It's destroying the Democratic Party, which I love it. My attitude is just like the Michael Jackson video, eating popcorn. I love it. I love watching this. I mean, I don't like any of these people. Believe me, I love watching the Democratic Party implode from their own corruption, own manipulation. It's finally catching up with them. One more, and I don't know how this is going to play out. It's going to be painful. They're going to have to get rid of Kamala Harris as well. She's almost as cognitively impaired as Biden, and she's also a deeply unpopular figure. The Democratic Party has to keep up appearances, has to give the illusion that there's some competition. I think most of the ruling class is okay with Trump getting in. Now, next thing, Trump, there was 2 days ago, looks like a serious assassination attempt against Trump at a rally. Someone nicked his ear. I think it was real. I don't think some liberals are claiming his inside job to make Trump look better. I think that's nonsense. I don't see that. He came within a fraction of an inch of killing Trump. I don't see how they could pull that off as an inside job. There are murky things. I don't want to get into this too much. There are a lot of suspicions and murky things, and there's no such thing as a lone gunman. Something's going on. I don't know what. Anyway, if you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. And that's it for this video. Thank you. Okay, hi. Kate here with another video. Hope everyone is doing well. And if you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. Okay, this is a book review of sorts of Hi, hope everyone's doing well, and if you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe.